Hi guys, I'm Tebogo Sebake, currently a PhD student from Nelson Mandela University. I'm be presenting my study here, the collection and aggregation of big data for Earth systems modeling. Just to take you through the background of my work. So greenhouse gas are small important gases in the atmosphere that are responsible for trapping heat in the lower atmosphere and making Earth livable. The buildup of these guys threatens the ecosystem stability, though, especially since the industrial era from the 1850s. Now, our food production is responsible for around 30% of these emissions, hence the interest in the study. And then I'm going to look at organic farming and conventional farming in particular. So organic farming is production of food through biology. It prohibits the use of synthetic fertilizer, whereas conventional farming promotes synthetic fertilizer, the common way of producing food lately. So I looked at comparing methane and carbon dioxide emissions from organic farming and conventional farming. The research area was in George, the agricultural Nelson Mandela campus, and the research study was established in 2014 by Professor Raymond Urbach. And the area was selected because the organic plots had already built up enough organic matter in the soil. The soil treatment prior to the plot, 1 ton of dolomitic lime was applied, which is equivalent to 3 kg per plot. And then organic plots were fertilized or applied with 68 kg of compost, and conventional plot with 1.2 kg of NPK fertilizer. Each plot is like 30 meters squared, and the total area of the study area is like 1,200 meters squared, the total area of the trial. Moving on to the methodology and the instruments. So we had a gas spectrometer called a Picaro G220i. It's mounted to a back of a vehicle, and it's quite mobile and robust. It can also be used in field and in the lab. And then it's got a pump and suction into the radar, which gives the concentration of greenhouse gas, CH4 and CO2 in particular, in field. You don't have to wait for the results from the lab. And then we had a gas canister used to trap the soil emitted from the different production systems. And then we had a second and third objective of establishing the relationship between soil emissions and soil moisture, and then gas emissions and temperature. So soil moisture and temperature were collected with the gas emissions every day. And moving on to the results, this is a conventional plot compared to an organic plot at the same day, at the same time. The plots were used using an average from the 2 canisters placed in each field, and it was plotted as follows. It's plotted here with emissions and then with soil moisture below. We have heavy rainfall here and then a drastic increase of soil moisture. This is for CO2, and that on the right is for CH4. So from observing our results, we found out that conventional plots emit 26% more carbon dioxide. Soil moisture reduces carbon dioxide emissions in all plot. An increase in soil moisture increases methane emissions in organic plot, and an increase in temperature increases both emissions of CH4 and CO2 in all plots. So from the observation, we've figured out that a combination of measures and trade-offs will be required to mitigate the projected increases of greenhouse gases and the food system at large. So from the observations above and the variation of the 2 canisters in each plot, it came to our attention that we need we need a novel distributed sensor scheme for accurate big data collection. So from the graph there, that's one plot, one conventional plot, R2T6, with 2 cans every day. The average was used to plot the previous graphs, but this plot is plotted with the 2 canisters in each plot. And then we pick up that the variation in the same plot is quite sufficient. Therefore, this motivates for a distributed need for greenhouse gas monitoring. We then proposed this carbon dioxide sensor, which was tested in the lab for precision with a detection range of 300 to 10,000 parts per million and set to a sampling rate of 1%. So this is a container, a airtight gas container with the sensor inside, placed inside, and then an Arduino computer placed on the inside. And then we have carbon dioxide gas in the canister being pumped into our container. And then we have our sensor in the container reading the concentration of gas. And this is how it was plated over 7 minutes. Over 7 minutes of pumping the carbon dioxide into the container. It managed to move from around 380 parts per million to close to 700. This is proposed, this type of sensors are proposed to be distributed around agricultural establishments. And this won't be an introduction, this won't be an act of introducing sensors to agriculture, since agriculture already has sensors for weather monitoring and like yield improvements and all. It will just be a way of monitoring greenhouse gases emitted from agriculture. And to enable better management of these emissions from agriculture and the environment at large, there are links to environmental and agricultural practices needs to be better quantified. Therefore, a novel distributed sensor scheme can help sustainably steward the atmosphere, sustainably steward the concentration of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to a desired concentration. And of course, enable carbon tax, because we can't tax what we can't quantify. Thank you very much.